Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the DunnWisdom Morning Show. My name is Melissa P. Dunn. I am the CEO of MD Marketing Network, the founder of DunnWisdom, and a candidate for Lauderhill City Commission, seat number 2. Listen, Tuesday is when we talk all things book. I believe that success comes from learning what other people have done, what worked for them, what didn't work for them. And a lot of times people are brave enough and sweet enough to put that knowledge in a book. And so in today's episode of My Success Book Club, I'm going to be introducing you to Miss Kristina Jones. She is a serial entrepreneur, y'all. She has been working in the tech space and has successfully raised over $7 million in funding for all of her projects. And if that's not enough, she has also written a book on grief. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, give a warm DunnWisdom welcome to Miss Jones.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning, girl. Listen, thank you for getting up so early. I know you're on LA time, so I appreciate you spending the morning with us.
Oh, no, my pleasure. This is exciting. We just may wake up my 4-year-old daughter. So if we get
No,
a surprise,
don't wake her up. Don't wake her up. Let her sleep a little bit longer. Wow. So Miss Jones, Miss Kristina, tell us a little bit about yourself. Give us your 30-second spiel, your 30-second elevator pitch.
Oh, man. Okay. So originally from Los Angeles, California, actually moved to Florida to go to school. Started a career in advertising, so doing commercials and print ads for brands like Disney, Walmart. And then my husband and I decided we wanted to start a business, and we started it in tech. And it was called Court Buddy, a site that allows people to find affordable legal services. We scaled it nationwide, ended up raising through a Series A, $7 million. Just recently, last year, decided to sell our interest in the company. We had built an amazing team. We were ready to move on to new ventures. And after stepping down, decided to write a book that I was supposed to write when I was 17 years old. I'm 35 now. And out of that book came my next venture. So I'm excited to talk about all that.
Wow. Okay. Well, let's start with the book, since this is kind of the focus of the show today, and then we'll add on the other layers. So tell us a little bit about the book and what inspired it. You had the idea from when you were 17.
Yeah. Yeah. So the experience that kind of guided the book actually happened when I was 7 years old. I lost my father to cancer and never really got the emotional support that I needed. So as a young child, just kind of mentally came up with my own ways to cope. And when I was 17 years old, I was driving home from the Santa Monica Pier where I was volunteering. And it just hit me while I was driving. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to tell kids about how I am, staying connected to my father through all my quirky and spiritual ways. And I remember writing it as I was driving. And then I got home and I literally forgot all of it. And so I was like, the importance, I wish we had, the iPhone back then. I could have recorded it. And I just kind of let that idea kind of float in the air. Like I still wanted to do it, but I just never knew how to get started until now. I had built a tech company. I knew how to hire the talent and I had the time. So I thought at 34, I was 34 when I wrote it. Now's the time to get it out.
Do you know what I find so powerful about that story and that you just described? It sounds to me, listening to you tell it, like you literally had a download when you were 17, but the timing wasn't right? And then now that you're 34 and you have all the resources, everything just came back for you. You got it out. And in the process of getting it out, you gave birth to that next thing. So it's almost like the book was was meant to be a stepping stone, not only for you to purge what you had inside of you, but also for you to, for it to trigger the other next thing for you.
Exactly. Exactly. No, that's a perfect way to put it. So,
Oh,
and then
wow. No,
I'm a
I
first-time
think
author,
that's really
so
powerful. Yeah, I think that's really powerful. And I think sometimes that's how the universe, God, whatever the name is for you, I think that that's sometimes how it works, right?
oh yeah. And when I get to the part when I came up with the idea during the writing process for the company, it was another moment where it just hit me. You know, my husband had already come up with his next venture, which is in the music space, an amazing startup, connecting artists with record executives. And I was kind of like, I don't know what I'm going to do next, but I'm going to pour my heart into this book, you know, while I have the time. And then hopefully I come up with the next thing to do.
Oh, beautiful, well, beautiful. And so in the book, you share tips for children to grieve. Is that what it is?
Yeah, and it's funny, when I first wrote the manuscript, I literally just poured out all the ways that I stayed connected to my dad. Um, and then I went out and I found my book editor actually on Upwork. So I'm a huge fan of
Mm.
Upwork. Most of my hiring comes from Upwork. And I found a woman, an editor that was a successful children's book publisher. She had multiple books on the market, and she was also a school teacher. So I felt she told me, was this is a good start, but if you're
Mm.
speaking to children, you need characters.
Okay.
And she was like, right now you're just preaching to the kids, and kids they
Mm.
won't connect to that. So a lesson learned, you know, get the people who have been where you are currently, and be open to feedback. You know, her feedback really led me down the path to developing a successful book for children.
Oh, I love it. Do you have a copy of the book with you? Could you hold it up so we can see the
I
cover?
do.
Oh, I love that. Oh, brown
Yeah.
babies, multicultural babies.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
it.
And also worked with an amazing illustrator who I also found on Upwork. So
Wow. I'm gonna put up the let me put up the link so if anybody wants to get the book, they
thank
may.
you.
So Upwork, yeah, we have to talk about that. I haven't had a lot of success, perhaps because I don't have the patience to comb through and go through like the whole process. All right, but note to self, try again.
Yes, definitely
Apparently
try again.
it worked out for you.
I hire everyone through Upwork.
Oh, wow. Good to know. Good to know. So tell us about, well, first, what was that process like for you, generating that, um, first $7 million in your first tech company? What was that like for you? And how long did that take?
Ooh, you're taking me back. That process was, it's not easy. It's not fun. A lot of rejection, you know, a lot of soul searching. You know, you have a lot of people telling you your idea is bad, but it's all about finding the people who connect with your idea and the people who believe in you as an entrepreneur. So there's different rounds of funding. There's a pre-seed, which is sometimes friends and family. If you are able to get your friends and family to contribute to your investment, then the next stage is a seed round, which typically is under $1 million. Sorry, now it's changed. Now a seed round can be $1 to $3 million. And then after a seed round is a Series A. So we went through essentially 3 rounds of funding to get to that 7 million. And you know, it's a grind, but once you get the right investor, I always say start with your lead investor. We spent a lot of time not understanding the game. And so we spoke with a lot of investors, that over 200 investors that told us no. But then we finally found out.
Pause right there. Pause right there, Kristina. You received over 200 no's before you got your yes that led you to $7 million.
Yeah. But every no led to getting closer to that yes, whether it be through the experience of asking for feedback, like what was wrong? Was there something wrong with our pitch? You know, is it because, you know, you're just not interested in the legal space? Is it because we're Black entrepreneurs? Like, so through every no, we kind of got closer. And my co-founder and I also got stronger in pitching our company with every no.
Wow. Okay. So y'all, I want you to see and get the brilliance in this piece of wisdom.
No, did I lose you? I don't know if you can hear her, you can hear me, but it's frozen on my side.
All right, having a little bit of technical difficulties there.
Oh, no.
Girl, keep dropping some words of wisdom while I resolve it. Talk about your book. Do something. I'll be right there.
Okay. We were in the fundraising conversation, so I'll continue that. Once you find a lead investor, that's kind of like your cheerleader, who will help you find other investors that will say yes. So they essentially are the anchor for your round, and they usually open up their Rolodex, bring in their friends, bring in their past co-investors to help you fill the round. So for example, if you're raising $1 million, your lead investor may only be bringing in 150 to 250, but they will help you raise the rest of that round for you. For the $1 million raise in our seed, it took us, taking me back. We started, probably took us about 4 or 5 months, and we actually raised during the summertime, which we learned is not the best time to raise. You want to raise during the fall. So when investors are back from vacation, their kids are already in school, they're dedicated to finding investments. And also we've heard right before Christmas. Right before Christmas. You don't want to start like during the Christmas season, but right before Christmas is when they have to make a lot of investments. So that's another good time to fundraise at Thanksgiving, between Thanksgiving and Christmas time.
I would have thought the exact opposite. I would have thought that they're done working.
You may get a few that have checked out, but they have to close the year. So they have to get their investments out. So you can probably raise faster during that time. And then of course, once the year starts, then that's a great time as well. So beginning of the year, summer's dead time when we always raised. And then that fall right before Christmas.
Wow. Okay. All right. So, hey, Shelly Ann, thank you for connecting us. Good morning. Good morning, Mrs. Lopez. Mommy, thank you for joining us. Great conversation. Okay, so now you've gotten through the company, you sold the company, and you wrote the book, launched the book, and then in the process of writing the book, your next idea came. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I told you guys the editor came back to me and was like, if you're going to speak to characters, or if you're going to speak to children, you need characters. And so at first it was 2 characters, the lead characters, who are Micah and Sasha. And then she came back and she was like, okay, you have a lot of wisdom in this book. I think we should spread it out amongst more characters. And the second she said that is when I had that aha moment, because it allowed me to not be so generic with death. It allowed me to give each character their own person, or in case of this character, she loses her pet. And I thought, okay, now I can give every single character their own grief story and their own grief emotion, and how they healed to help process the death of whoever they lost. So whether it be a grandparent, whether it be a parent. So in the case, this is me in the book. That's little Kristina.
Oh, we have 2 pigtails.
The main character loses a sibling. And it made me realize these kids are helping each other heal. They're creating their own social healing network. And so then I got on the computer and I was like, I wonder if this really exists. Do kids have a place to connect online to help each other heal through grief? And I couldn't find anything, which was shocking. In today's age, our kids live online. I found a lot of amazing local efforts, like in-person camps, in-person churches that did group bereavement, but nothing connecting the kids online in a social way. So that's when I was like, you know what? I can do it. I'm going to do it for these kids. Because I saw that there was a need and it wasn't being met.
I love it. What's the new company?
It's called Guardian Lane. Guardian Lane.
Oh, I see it here. GuardianLane.com. I'm going to put it in the chat too. I mean, it's in the caption, but let me go ahead and create a banner for it so that folks can check it out. And so what happens when you go on that website?
Yeah, so for families who want to sign up, what Guardian Lane is essentially is a video sharing platform. So I have gathered some of the best grief counselors, children's grief counselors from around the country, who have created grief projects. So whether that's writing, whether that's painting, whether that's creating music, storytelling, just getting our kids to express their grief through creativity. And so they watch the video from the counselor, and then they actually do the activity and share it on the site. So I say, for the counselors, it's like YouTube, they're uploading the content, but for the kids, it's more like TikTok. So they see it, they do it, and then they share it.
Oh my God, that is so dope. That is so dope. If Natasha were here, I'd say let's show people a sample of the site, but I am technologically challenged with this particular platform. I just know the basics. But you guys do check that out. GuardianLane.com. The information is at the bottom of the screen. And so how long has the site been up? And where are you right now with business development?
Yeah, so the idea came around right before I launched the book. So I'd say like March is when I came up with the idea. And so I had to hire my developers, my designers. We're live for the counselors. So the counselors currently are creating the content, uploading the content, and then we go live for families mid to the end of this month.
Okay, mid to the end of this month. Well, I'm going to invite you to come back. Well, first of all, I'm going to invite you to join our Women Getting It Done community. We're a community of about 500, almost 600 women who support each other's growth. And I'm sure among those women, some of them probably have had children who are dealing with grief in some way, shape, form, or the other. So we're definitely going to invite you back. Perhaps you can do something when the site is live. Maybe we can organize a demo or something for that community.
That'd be amazing.
I think the women will find a lot of value in it.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I think the one thing that people love, like when I guide the counselors through the children's experience on my calls with them, there's a data piece for parents that that when they see it, they're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Because kids don't generally express how they're feeling, parents are sometimes at a loss, even schools. So this will be available for schools as well. Schools are at a loss on how to further support the child. So every child checks in with an emotion. It says, I feel happy, sad, distracted, angry, I'm in pain. And so we collect that data on how they are checking in, because the way they feel leads them to specific content for that feeling. But for the parent, we track the feelings. And so a parent can log in into their dashboard and see, oh, wow, my child is checking in with sad all the time, or my child is checking in with pain every time they log in. At least now I know how my child is feeling and how I can further support them.
That's so powerful. Okay, so I'm going to connect you also to, have you reached out to Gildas Club?
I don't know if I know about them.
So one career ago, I used to be the director of health systems and community health initiatives for the American Cancer Society's Manhattan office. And so when you're working in the cancer space, children have to deal with grief, as you well know, because you went through it yourself. Right. And Gildas House has a program where they have like support groups for children, teaching them how to process their griefs. I actually had a client with Shanti, who was a young man that started a movement to teach kids how to live mindfully. And he teaches kids yoga, but using like a real life dog character. And we went to Gildas Club one Saturday, and he did like a yoga class for the kids while they were trying to process their grief. So I'm sure this would be great for Gildas Club, number one. And number two, the other thing that I interviewed last week, somebody from Miami-Dade County Public Schools who is in charge of the mental health department for the entire school district.
Oh, perfect.
So I will be happy to make that connection to you too, because it sounds like this is something that would really support children, and I'm all for it.
Yeah. I've been talking to the DC schools district, and they're excited about the video aspect of it. You know, they're like, our kids will love this. They thrive with video, and that's the world they live in right now. So
yeah, this would be great. Oh, we love you too, Shelly Ann. Good morning. And then Karen, thank you for watching. She's saying, great show, ladies. Great morning to you. Love your process, and thanks for those powerful fundraising tips. Indeed. You guys, if you have any questions at all for Kristina, whether it's about dealing with grief or helping your child process grief, or if it's, you know, you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to raise capital, she is an expert because she's done it. Are you in the process of trying to raise money again for this new company, or are you going to bootstrap it?
You know, we bootstrapped Court Buddy for 2 years before we raised any venture money. And I always wonder what would have happened if we kept bootstrapping, because we had revenue, it was growing. I kind of want to see it through with the bootstrapped company. So for right now, I'm not going to be raising money for this venture. I really want to focus on the customers and growing through customer revenue. I think one downfall to raising money is it kind of, I don't want to say it makes you lazy, because it doesn't make you lazy, because you have to grow fast. I just felt like when we got to the point of raising, we kind of lost touch with our customer the way we did when we were bootstrapping. Because you have to grow so fast because your investors
Right.
want a return on that money. And so just the way I see myself as an entrepreneur in growing successful businesses, I kind of want to see this one through just with bootstrapping and growing through my customers.
Yeah, you know what? That makes a lot of sense because it feels to me like this is a passion project as well. Like this
Exactly.
is something that, I mean, if you think about the process that the idea came to you, like the idea for the book came at 17, you had to be ready to the point where you knew well enough to go on Upwork to find the editor who then made the suggestion, who then triggered the idea. So this is not just you, honey. This is like bigger than you. It feels very purpose driven to me.
Yeah. Oh,
And so
100%.
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely get it. Well, we wish you a lot of luck. Well, let me ask you this. So is this a free service for children and families? What's the pay structure like?
So for the families to have their children access the content, it's free. Should they need additional support, the counselors that have provided the content are available for 30-minute video sessions. And you can book one session, a package of 6 sessions or 12 sessions.
Oh, well, that sounds fair to me, right? If you want counseling, then you can do it almost like telehealth sessions.
Exactly.
Oh, I like that. And then this way, it's you kind of avoid the whole challenge of going into an office because everything is done virtually.
Exactly. And
I
what's
love it.
great is because we're working with counselors, grief counselors, a child may connect with someone who's, not in that specific neighborhood. Because we also give the parents data around which counselors that child is watching the most. So that child may have a connection with one counselor that's not in the nearby district where they can just drive to the office. So this allows the resources to open up.
I love it. I love it. This is such a powerful project. Kristina, I wish you a lot of luck with this thing, and I will absolutely make those 3 connections to you. So don't hang up after we get off. Let me send it. I'm in the middle of a campaign, so if I don't do it right now, I will forget.
And if you're okay, because Shelly's on, she actually wrote the next book. We're going to do an audio book. She helped me write the next one. So
Oh,
thank
you
you,
know what?
Shelly.
I'm not surprised. Shelly Ann is an amazing writer, and she, in fact, has written plenty of stuff for some of my clients too. So we have her in common.
Yeah, I wanted every character to have their own story. And so she took on Sasha, who loses her grandfather.
Okay, so then that's going to be, so you're going to produce a book for each character then? Is that the
Yeah,
plan?
right now we're doing audio, and then
Okay.
eventually we'll roll it out into
Oh my
physical
gosh,
books.
I could see it. Cartoons, like a whole like merch. Ooh, my marketing brain is frying right now. The whole merch thing, that'd be so dope. That will be so dope. All right, so we'll stay on the line. We'll make some connections. In the meantime, do you have any final words of wisdom? And I'm going to ask you for words of wisdom in 2 categories. The first being if you're a parent with a child that's grieving. And then the second word of wisdom is if you're an entrepreneur looking to grow your business.
Funny enough, I think my daughter just woke up. Hi, baby. Oh. So advice for parents who have children who are grieving. Oh, say hi.
Good morning. How are you? She's gorgeous.
Thank you. Support your children. You may be deep in your grief right now, baby. You may be deep in your own grief right now, and your children might not be expressing their grief the way that you think they should be. But know that they are grieving, and they're trying to figure out what this even means. But by allowing them to connect to other children who are in that same kind of mental emotional state will definitely help them express themselves even more. So please support your children. Get them in groups with other kids. Let them join Guardian Lane and express themselves through creativity. And it'll help you guys start conversations as a family.
I love it. I love it. And so Carrie Ann is telling you congratulations, Shelly Ann. And then she says, "Aw." And then, of course, Shelly Ann says, "Thank you, Kristina." All right. So the final words of wisdom for entrepreneurs.
You know, fear is probably, we all know fear is the one thing that keeps us back from moving forward and moving towards our dreams. But working hard on dreaming. You know, sometimes we let fear get in the way, and then we stop dreaming, and we fall back to our comfort zone. So I challenge us all to every morning, you know, every evening, just work on that dream, making it, that vision stronger, and, you know, step by step. Where in the bathroom, we have something that says brick by brick.
I love it. I love it.
But it's just a reminder that it's just every tiny step that you make leads you closer to that dream. So do it in fear. You know, everyone's experiencing it, just step by step.
Step by step. I'm going to receive that word of wisdom for myself too. Work on the dreaming. Good morning. Listen, Miss Shelly Ann is saying, "Pretty girl." Hey, good morning.
Pretty girl. 1 second.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to let you go be mommy. Thank you for joining us too, young lady.
They said thank you for joining.
All right. Stand by. Thank you. Thank you for joining us this morning for this informative episode of the DunnWisdom Morning Show. I do encourage you to share this video so that other parents will learn about this valuable resource. You never know what families are going through. Grief is a real thing. It's hard for us as adults. Imagine how it must be for a child. Please share this resource so that families who need to access grief counselors, who need to access resource to help their child process grief, will have Guardian Lane to turn to. Thank you again. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for another episode of the DunnWisdom Morning Show. Remember, be kind and loving to yourself. You deserve it. Be well.